Welcome back. So if you want to take something that looks like this and change it into something that looks like this, stick around. Obviously it's a highly saturated flower, and yeah, it's pretty simple to do. Materials are pretty minimal. We have a pink backdrop, we have a yellow vase, pink flowers, and a black cloth underneath that. That's it. Our gear is going to be the iPhone, but you can pretty much choose any camera that can do a long exposure, say 1 to 2 minutes, 3 minutes or so. And our light source, it's not a big softbox or anything like that, it's a simple light pen. So what we have to do next is get the iPhone set up with the right slow shutter application and turn off the lights and start the exposure. Let's get to it. So we got the setup, and now we're going to hit the exposure. I'm going to evenly expose this photo because the backdrop is so close to the main subject. There's light that bounces all around. We'll start with the flowers. Obviously we'll start that up, and the main subject that I like is the actual yellow kind of see-through vase. This thing really pops with color, and when we boost the saturation up, I think it's going to look pretty nice. We have it on a black cloth, which is kind of like a negative fill, and you'll see it kind of come into effect because the bottom of this photo is going to be a little bit darker than obviously the top. All right, let's see what things look like. Yeah, the flowers coming in a little bit, a little of the vase. We'll keep working this over. This vase is actually, you can see through it, or it has light that emits from it, so we can kind of do a little bit one of these exposures to kind of make it a nice glow. Nothing overly crazy, but at least it will really pop. Get in here. It's kind of like all these little nooks and crannies. And let's check the photo. Let's see what has happened. Yeah, it's coming through a little bit. We'll bring this to life. And what's cool is when I hit this background, it's pink, but this has got a blue, kind of a blue fluorescent light to it. So before it hits pink, it actually starts the color blue. And what we can do is just kind of expose it, not fully expose it, because if we fully expose it, it turns pink. But when it's underexposed, it turns kind of a very vibrant blue. And that's what we're going to try to do with this. You'll see it here in a sec once we get done with the flowers. And let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it's coming in. Get this. And okay. Go through on the back a little bit more. One more time, and I think we're going to start with the background. Yeah, it's starting to get illuminated. Now let's hit the background. Now this should turn a slight blue. The more we expose it, a little bit brighter blue, and if we expose it a lot, it turns actually pink. So we can get patches of pink in this photograph as it exposes this background. If it's fully exposed, you're going to see all pink. But I kind of discovered this, and I really like the pink because it just makes that yellow pop all that more. Let's see what we have. Yeah, you can see the blue coming in. Needs a little bit more exposure, obviously, but we're getting there. see how much we have done. It's a little bit slower exposure. I think I have ISO 32 on, or I'm sorry, it's 25. So you have to hold that light a little bit longer, you know, rather than if you're using an ISO 100, but it has a tendency to kind of safeguard you from blowing it out accidentally, which is a no-go. Yeah, we can see the blue coming in. It's got this little bit of mystery. And let's hit right in here underneath this part, because this looks a little bit underexposed. And that's the thing, man. You just, with these flowers so tightly together, you don't really know what you're missing. And I want to get this a little bit more illuminated. Let's check this out. It's coming along. We are definitely at the end of this going to boost up the exposure and saturation, but we have to get it somewhat close. The biggest fear that I have is if I overexpose, let's say the yellow, and it starts to blow out, I can't really raise the exposure at all. So you have to be careful about that part. If one piece blows out, you're kind of done if you have to do very much manipulation to the image. Okay, this should be getting a lot bluer. Maybe even a little pink might be coming through now. Still got some blue. Yellow seems to be in check. The flowers could use a little bit more exposure. Yeah, let's keep at this, guys. Let's keep at this. Have to get underneath. Around. That's the thing with this photo. It seems to be like you just have all these little nooks and crannies you have to kind of try to get into. And illuminating this. See what this looks like. Oh yeah, coming in, and you can start to see some of the pink starting to shine through at the top, the brightest part. And as this exposure kind of plays out, I'm going to hit right back here for a sec. Right in the back area. See if we can get this just a tad brighter. Hopefully we didn't mess that up. Yeah, there we go. Now, smooth a little bit of this out. This should start coming in a little more pink at the top. And then we work it out. This is going to have an L frame. It's going to have an L frame black frame around it. So the black frame will be underneath and off to the right. Should be kind of different. Again, it kind of sets it off. You know, I have 3 or 4 colors that are very vibrant. And let's look at this. Oh yeah, coming around. Probably patch this stuff up. Get underneath. Get up top. I might, after this, do a save. Let's look at this. Yeah, I'm going to stop, save, and start it back up, and we're going to play around. Maybe get a little more pink in there off to the right. I need to maybe expose that just a tad more. And the top of the flower needs a little bit more exposure. Right up here, maybe back along with this. And this right in here, could use just a tad more. try to get the gradation. So that light pointing down, obviously it's brightest at the top and goes down. That's how you get that gradation effect. With the light, kind of makes it a little bit more dramatic versus a big, nice, bright, flat light. And let's check this out. Yeah, it's starting to look that way. You'll notice down here, because we have a black cloth, you'll notice that it's just darker. Granted, the gradation from the light, the top is less, has less intensity, but that black cloth is what we're calling as the negative fill. It kind of takes away light. There's nothing to reflect off of it, so yeah. I'm going to lighten up just a bit. Yeah, I'm liking it. A little bit more exposure and I think we're done. A little bit more exposure overall. Get it up here. I'm going to try to get a little bit more pink in this. Hold this here for a sec. Yeah. It's kind of one of those processes, man. You just keep trying. I think I'm going to save this one. Go for broke. Save. I am looking all over this photo, seeing what else I can expose. It's still a little bit weird in here. Maybe it's in here, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah. And the light, or the vase, get more light through this. And a little bit more through this way. It's kind of evening out. Just doing our thing, guys. Try to smooth this out. I'm going to hit the vase one more time and I'm going to call it good. Try to really illuminate this. It's my biggest worry. With all that other light bouncing around, I just don't want this overexposed. I think we're going to be good because we're going to have to raise the exposure for everything. Yep, that's it. I'm going to save it. And yeah, I do have another exposure of this. We'll try this one. We'll leave this as it is. The prior exposure, well, now that we have this saved, let's do it again. Let's go for broke. I'm going to really hit this. I'll show you what this looks like when we kind of really put the heat to it and the light to it, I should say. And some pink should be coming through here shortly. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, you see some pink burning in a little bit. And then we increase the saturation. That is going to happen. That's just going to come through a little bit more when you increase the light and the saturation. Yeah, that really came through there. But that's good enough. We might not take that one. So we're going to do some post-processing, show you the final image, and that should be it.